Hey, good morning. It's let's see, it's a little early today for my Time Out Tuesday. It's probably about 10:30 right now, but I'm going to be doing something around 12:30, give or take, when I normally do my Time Out Tuesday videos. So I wanted to make sure I got that video in before. Didn't want to miss a week. It's actually episode 106 this week. 106 weeks I've been doing this. It's amazing to me, at least. I don't know if it's amazing to you, but it's definitely amazing to me. So I'm coming to you a little bit early today, which, as anybody that knows me knows, that's my jam, early and on time. But anyway, it's a little unusual to come this early, but I didn't want to miss it, and I was pretty sure that I wouldn't be able to get to it later on in the day. So today's the title of today's video was Pride and Prejudice, Get Over It. The Pride and Prejudice is the title of a book that I'm sure is absolutely excellent. I'm sure some people out there will think I'm an ignoramus, but I've never read this book. But the title worked for me for what I wanted to talk about today. Because Pride and Prejudice certainly can cause you to, it can prevent yourself from trying new things, seeking out new opportunities. You can be, too proud to be willing to make mistakes in front of people. That's a very common thing. More so for adults than it is actually for kids. Kids are a little bit more risk takers, especially when it comes to things like, stepping into a new environment. So, exercise, fitness facilities, exercise, dojo floor, gyms, things like that are very difficult for a lot of adults to, overcome their own anxieties, their own pride of being worried about, embarrassing themselves or not being able to keep up with people. When most of the time, I've talked about this in other videos, no one else really cares what you're doing. They only care what they're doing. But everyone seems to think that everyone's watching you. It's usually not the case. People are far less interested in you than you think you are, than you think they are. And certainly prejudice can cause you to make decisions that are really not in your own best interest. So, a couple of examples that I can think of off the top of my head. There's a couple of companies, small businesses that I help with their social media campaigns. And very often it starts out as just friends with people, and I talk about how we built up our own engagement with the community through social media over the last 7 years, and how we have a fairly large social media presence now. And, we've gotten really good at understanding how to communicate with people online. And I ask people, that are in small businesses, what are you doing online? And very often their story is the same. I don't have time for that. I don't really want to sit in front of Facebook all day chatting about what I ate for lunch. And, it's to some extent, it's a misunderstanding about how social media is used for business. In other cases, it's just simply the fear of the unknown. If I commit to going online and doing this whole social media thing, I've got to learn it, and I'm not a great computer person. And the next thing you know, they're building this whole doing social media thing into a monstrosity. And then often I'm able to sit down with them in front of a computer and set up a Facebook page and get a couple of quick posts going. And very quickly they'll start seeing some people communicating with them that never would have communicated. And then all of a sudden their prejudice becomes less important, and the positive effect of what we're working on is evident, and that can sort of get them over their prejudice. And things like that are important. Another great story about overcoming prejudice, and hopefully my mom is my mom is probably watching this, but for a couple of years I've been trying to get my mother to adopt a smartphone. And she was very reluctant. There was a million different reasons why she didn't want to adopt a smartphone. She didn't want to be glued to her phone. She didn't want to be staring at her phone all day. She didn't want to be reliant on her phone all day. And there was 100 different reasons why she didn't want a smartphone. And then when we got a little closer to convincing her to get a smartphone, she started laying down all these rules of things that she was not going to do with her smartphone. And I just thought it was kind of funny. And I said to her at one point, hey, instead of all these rules about what you're not going to do, why don't you embrace the concept, get the phone, see what kind of things you like doing with it. And now she's just 3 months later, this smartphone wizard, texting everybody, FaceTiming, taking photos and texting them and Facebooking on her phone and all these other things. And so she overcame her own prejudice as well. And and made for a better world for her and certainly for us who wanted to communicate with her. But I think it's a really important thing to always seek out new things, seek out things that are a little bit difficult for you, things that you are hesitant to try. Give them a whirl. The worst that could happen is that you really actually don't like it, but at least you can put it in the pile of things that you have tried. Over the course of my life, there's a lot of things that I've tried that I didn't really know whether I was going to be good at. I mean, martial arts is definitely one of them. I mean, it was something that I was interested in, way back in my upper teens, but I didn't know if I was going to be good at it, and I certainly didn't know that it was going to lead to a lifetime of training and teaching and career and all these other things. Another great example for me is guitar playing. I picked up guitar maybe 15 years ago as an adult. Definitely not musically inclined. In fact, a lot of the reason why I didn't play an instrument was I was convinced that I was not musically inclined, that I didn't have an aptitude for it. Maybe in part I thank my elementary school Mrs. McGinnis for that. I think she more or less convinced me that I had absolutely no singing voice and, maybe should avoid music at all costs. But, regardless, I'm sure she didn't do that on purpose, but it was the effect. But it was something that I knew that it was a mountain for me to learn how to play a musical instrument, and I picked it up and I devoted quite a lot of time to it, and now it's one of my favorite things in the world to do. So sometimes if you can just sort of get over that initial hump of getting past yourself, getting over yourself, getting past your own pride and prejudice, it'll expose you to a world of opportunity, and I really encourage everybody to try that with everything. Try, maybe pick one thing a month that you're going to give a try that you've never done, and maybe by the end of the year you've picked up 3 new things or 3 new hobbies, or maybe even heading towards a new career path. Who knows what could come of it. So in any case, that's Time Out Tuesday for today. We're heading towards the end of January, and winter's here. It's cold, but thankfully we're not neck deep in 4 feet of snow, and that makes me happy. So I hope everyone has a fantastic day today, and I will see everybody at the dojo. Peace.